Hi, and welcome to 5 Steps to a Cyber-Safe Culture. I am Jennifer Arena from Integrity IT. We are a managed IT services company from Lexington, Kentucky, specializing in cybersecurity. My background is in healthcare as a nurse at a local hospital. I worked with the IT department on clinical technology projects, which led me to working as a clinical analyst with Integrity IT. I then joined the sales and marketing team, where I join you today. For many years, IT security was managed by the IT department. Our IT guy does that. We hear it all the time. Many employees, especially the previous generations, are generally afraid of technology and try hard to avoid even talking about it. Many executives simply don't have time for it. Gone are those days. The IT departments are more like superheroes than ever before when it comes to staying ahead of the troubles. They can implement all kinds of really cool technology to monitor and block malicious activity, but the weakest link is your human employee. Employees are involved in more than 90% of successful breaches. Hackers prey upon the vulnerabilities of human beings because it works. Hackers steal your data because it's valuable. Data has become an industry of its own, and a very profitable industry. With these dark web prices, hacking is not going to go away. As long as there is money to be made, hackers will thrive. Even old data is valuable. The amount of fraud committed based on breached data that is 2 to 6 years old has increased by nearly 400% over the last 4 years to $3.7 billion in 2016. Profitable for the hackers, very costly for the businesses. The company cost burden for each record stolen continues to rise. Average cost of lost or stolen records containing personally identifiable information or protected health information is up to an average of $148 per record. Do a quick calculation for your number of records. For those in the healthcare industry, the cost is even higher at an average of $408. Here are a few factors that increase the cost of a data breach. Being in the United States, which is hard to avoid. Third-party involvement, which happens more than half the time. Vendors and business associates with ties to your network must be asked to prove how they protect your data. Also, extensive cloud migration at the time of the breach adds another level of complexity and cost. Stolen data industry is devastating to all businesses. The statistics are shocking. This one is worrisome. 60% of small medium businesses hit by a data breach close within 6 months. So is it your IT guy, your IT department or managed IT service provider not doing a good job? Perhaps. Cybersecurity has become a specialty for advanced security engineers. Even if your technology is confirmed and validated regularly through security audits, you still have a problem. What can be done? Reducing the costs are not unlike any other threat or natural disaster. Currently, it takes an average of 3 months to learn of a breach. The faster you can identify the breach and contain it, the less it can impact your system. This is best done with a solid plan and a response team. Every Windows 10 device can be encrypted, but you need to turn it on. Apple also has encryption on their iOS devices. Companies that train their employees in information security best practices spend 76% less on security incidents than their non-training counterparts. Information security is involved in every aspect of your business, so everyone associated with your business has a role in protecting it. Security is about people, people who hack and people who protect. People require knowledge and training. I mentioned that employees are involved in more than 90% of successful breaches. Usually it's due to lack of training or negligence. But over a quarter of attacks involve insider threats. The insider threat can be difficult to guard against. It can be hard to spot the signs if someone is using their legitimate access for nefarious purposes. Research by the Ponemon Institute found that insider threats are not viewed as seriously as external threats like cyber attacks. But when companies had an insider threat, in general, they were much more costly than external incidences. This was largely because the insider that is smart has the skills to hide the crime for months, for years, and sometimes. Humans are our weakest link, and the cyber criminals know this. When they prey on human weaknesses, it's called social engineering. We have some technology that helps humans not make mistakes, but best practices rely on training, workflow, and policies. Email is a leading method used by hackers, from tempting the user to click in a phishing email or stealing credentials to learn the company's processes, approvers, and workflow to pull off a more lucrative hack. No technology can prevent human nature. One of our engineers arrived at the client's office to obtain a backup of all their data. He forgot his badge and his keys to their server room. He had never met the client's employees. Do you think he was able to download their data? Why, yes. They led him to the server room, unlocked the door, where he spent 2 hours downloading all their protected health information onto a portable drive. As he was leaving, he used the opportunity to train them on data security. Your employees guard the front lines. They need to identify risk, question unusual requests, and protect the physical environment. We want to boost your defense. Everyone needs to have a basic understanding of cyber threats and actions to protect self and employer. A cyber-safe culture is for humans, not technology. Culture defines the proper way to behave within an organization. Here are 5 steps to building a cyber-safe culture. Step 1. Include it in the highest level where people get their direction, your business values, vision, and mission. Link cyber safety to these shared beliefs and values. Step 2. A cyber-safe culture must flow from the top. Cybersecurity is not a grassroots campaign. Cyber-safe best practices must be demanded by leadership and practiced by leadership. Ask yourself, are the executives exempt from following best practice policies because they get in the way? Do you practice what you preach? We've seen many organizations that have policies for employees and either different policies for the executive team or an ongoing free pass. This is asking for trouble. Establish your cyber safety plan with your leadership team. Empower your leaders to engage their teams to create enduring cyber safe. Step 3. Communicate cyber safety to all. Include cyber safety in routine communication methods, daily huddles, emails, newsletters. Review outcomes, successes, and failures at quarterly town hall meetings. Posters are good, but must be changed out for fresh messaging and placed in locations that will capture attention, like the bathroom stalls. One company called them potty posters. Don't forget contract employees and services that are not always present during the typical workday. Bottom line is an employee must be aware before they can be held accountable. Tailoring communication and training to each role improves the ability of people to transfer their knowledge to their job. Leaders and employees must see exactly how they impact the overall safety of the company. Step 4. Reinforced training. Annual training just won't cut it when it comes to cybersecurity. Visual cues and weekly tips are needed to keep the content on the mind. Reinforcing the content leads to incorporation into habits. Adult learning research consistently shows that videos help provide an enjoyable learning experience, boost engagement, and improve the transfer of knowledge. Employees must be aware before they can be held accountable, but you don't want to create a fear-driven or punitive environment. A healthy paranoia around cyber threats is good. A feeling of failure is not. Look first at workflow policies and the training methods. De-identify reports and incidences and use them as training tools. In policies and written information, avoid using the employee and the company. Use personal language. You are our #1 defense. We've heard the saying, what I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. The learning curve also has a forgetting curve. Research shows that within 1 hour, people will have forgotten an average of 50% of the information presented. Within 24 hours, they have forgotten an average of 70% of the new information, and within a week, forgetting claims an average of 90% of it. This study shows that visual, verbal, and participatory learning methods work better in the long run. Here's another way to view the impact of training methods. Email is a convenient form of mass communication, but as this study shows, it's the least effective. Once again, this reinforces the use of simulations and interactive training tools. So just a reinforcement of the ROI on training I mentioned earlier. Prevention, quickly identifying and reporting, reducing the number of records involved, fewer people to notify, possibly not even reportable. Companies that train their employees in information security best practices spend 76% less on security incidents than their non-training counterparts. Utilizing an established online cybersecurity training platform is cost-effective. It is too hard to create content and gather staff for ongoing in-person trainings. It is valuable to create those in-person training opportunities to build teamwork, but make them special events a few times a year. Many online training programs use practice and scenarios instead of just providing information. They utilize proven methods, instant feedback, prompting behavioral change, enjoyable learning experiences. Some provide the users with a score similar to a credit score. Their score rises with each training completed and keeping their credentials out of the dark web. They also can include phishing campaigns, which is a good tool for practice, reinforcement, and further training. Just make sure you are upfront with your employees that it will happen and it's not meant to be punitive or sneaky. Step 5. Reward folks for keeping your business secure. Perhaps a gift card for scoring 100% on the annual training module. Points for completing weekly modules on time, with ways to use points to get special privileges or prizes. Prizes for achieving the highest safety score or preventing a breach. For those who champion security, establish ways to advance their role. Security team lead, security mentor, a member of a security team. We hope you boost your cybersecurity program using these 5 steps. To help businesses start building their employee cyber defense team, we can set up your business with a free online training platform. I will tell you more about that in a bit. First, we have a suggestion for the first topic to address. It is the most difficult daily thing for individuals and companies. That is passwords. We hear a lot about password strength, but some ideas are changing. Last year, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is a division of the U.S. Department of Commerce, revised the 14-year-old guidelines. Bill Burr, now the retired author of the original 2003 NIST guidelines, was quoted in the Wall Street Journal as saying, "Much of what I did, I now regret." Password expiration was leading to weaker passwords and to people recording them in an unsecure manner to help them remember. Research discovered that when a password is compromised, it is used within a week, and frequent password expiration changes really offered no protection. The new recommendations are that system administrators monitor failed password attempts as an indication of possible compromise, and that systems notify the end user when their password is used in an unexpected manner. Google does this, for example, when your login is detected from a new device. These alerts may be indications that you need to change your password. This is a hard concept to tackle. Many companies with highly sensitive data perform 30 to 45-day password changes. If you feel more comfortable with this, you must have a password management system so users can always create a strong password. We thought we were being clever by using number and special character substitutions to increase password complexity. What was uncovered is that we were being lulled into a false sense of security, as we now know that hackers are using sophisticated password cracking software that allows them to account for common letter substitutions. An example is my password might be high security with a lot of substitutions. But password cracking tools account for common substitutions, so they look for things like a 1 instead of an I, a 3 instead of an E, and so on. Password length is a key to password security, but length along with the required complexity creates a less memorable password. The new recommendations relax the complexity but promote password length in the form of a more memorable passphrase. The goal is for users to remember this passphrase without recording them in an insecure manner. The longer the password, the more difficult and longer it takes for automated password cracking tools to guess them. The 8-character limit is being expanded, and recently 12 to 16 characters have been suggested as the new standards for minimum length. So what is a good passphrase? Creating a passphrase from a few disconnected words that you can remember is best practice. So an example might be Eagle, Flag, Storm, Jupiter, but a sentence also provides length. Notice the character complexity is relaxed and we used only lowercase letters. Some common sense must still apply in avoiding the use of your name, address, or other easily discoverable personal details in your passphrase. Also, the use of common passwords in your passphrase are to be discouraged, and there are recommendations that system administrators blacklist these. An example would be to never use password or 12345. So, how secure is my password? Dashlane, a password management tool, has a website that estimates how long it would take an automated system to crack your password. Do not use your real passwords, but use similar styles of passwords. It is easy to see that a shorter password with complexity requirements is cracked much easier than a longer, less complex password. Here I tested, I love Crouten dogs. There are many password management tools available at a very low cost to the individual. Many of us use and recommend LastPass. Employees on average have 191 passwords to remember. Most employees write down passwords and post at their desk or enter them in a spreadsheet. We need to stop expecting ourselves to remember and learn to use an app. There are also enterprise versions for multiple departments or clients that track access and report on strength. Strong passwords are a must, but credentials are stolen all the time. We need a second layer. Two-factor authentication is that second layer of security for your application and online access. Take advantage of this option and set it up wherever it's offered. This site lists websites and whether they support two-factor authentication. We have a few resources to offer to help build your cyber defense. As mentioned earlier, we are giving away a free breach security training platform to help slow the epidemic of breaches and protect our local businesses. It's effortless to set up, easy to administer, easy to track. It has an annual training module, weekly micro trainings, and monthly newsletters. It also has policies if needed. This is not a joke. Give online training a test run to decrease your vulnerability to attacks. Call, email, or complete the online request form. We are giving away the training platform to champion National Cybersecurity Awareness Month this October. You can be a champion too. A great way to start building your cyber safe culture. Go to staysafeonline.org to learn more. We also invite your executives and technical staff to join us at the second annual Cybersecurity and Technology Conference on September 20th. Go to cybersafeky.com to learn more. We have more information about topics mentioned in this presentation on our blog. You can use search words to find even more topics. integrityky.com/blog. If you need specific assistance, check out some of our other free offers. We can run a dark web scan to see if your business credentials are being sold on the web. We have consults for backups, for security risk assessments, and a virtual CIO consult for business strategy. Stronger security, trusted technology, better business. Thank you for your time. The slides and notes from this presentation are available for download at integrityky.com/cybersafeculture.